This video is our open letter to Pope Francis. Dear Pope, when Americans descended upon voting booths on November 5th last year, they voted for Trump presidency and not Pope sermons. And that is why Americans are disgusted at your unwarranted opinion on US immigration policy. The Pope has expressed his concerns about the Trump administration's stricter immigration policies, particularly its focus on deporting criminals and individuals without valid refugee claim. On Tuesday, he wrote a letter to US Catholic bishops and slammed mass deportations. The Pope wrote, "The act of deporting people who, in many cases, have left their own land for reasons of extreme poverty, insecurity, exploitation, or persecution damages the dignity of many men and women and of entire families and places them in a state of particular vulnerability and defenselessness." While the letter was framed as a reflection of Catholic teaching, it was widely seen as a direct criticism of Trump's immigration enforcement. The latter's content itself was not surprising when viewed in the context of church doctrine on immigration. However, some of its more ambiguous passages leave room for interpretation. Despite what some activist clergy might suggest, the Catholic Church does not support open borders. Church teachings affirm that nations have both the right and duty to regulate immigration in ways that serve the common good. Even the right to migrate is considered conditional in Catholic teachings. Pope Francis himself has previously acknowledged that some migrants must return to their home countries. While the Pope's concerns about immigration align with his broader humanitarian approach, his selective commentary on global issues raises questions. For instance, China. Why has not the Pope issued a similar letter condemning the persecution of Catholics and other religious minorities in China? The Vatican's controversial agreement with Beijing has only further weakened the Church's standing in the country. Meanwhile, Catholic activist Jimmy Lai has been imprisoned, yet the Pope has never mentioned his name publicly. Number 2, Latin America. The Pope has been notably hesitant to criticize leftist regimes in Latin America, such as Venezuela, despite their suppression of religious and civil freedoms. Number 3, the Biden administration. Where was the Vatican's letter condemning the Biden administration for aggressive promotion of abortion and gender ideology? The Pope's selective approach to international issues has often weakened his credibility. His views are sometimes influenced by sentimental humanitarianism, which has made his leadership appear inconsistent. Even among Catholics, his comments on Russia and Ukraine have also been met with confusion and frustration. The Pope's understanding of the modern world and his approach to church issues have done real harm to the truth. It feels like he is not honest with his own principles. This latest letter on immigration is just one example of the deeper challenges facing the Pope's papacy, challenges that the cardinals who elect his successor will need to carefully consider and correct. And that is why Trump's border czar Tom Homan blasted the Pope for his outrageous statement. Homan said, "I've got harsh words for the Pope. I say this as a lifelong Catholic. He ought to focus on his work and leave enforcement to us. He's got a wall around the Vatican, does he not?" And then he tore him to pieces. "I wish he would stick to the Catholic Church and fix that and leave border enforcement to us." Well, Homan has a point here. He is no one to influence American immigration policy. So, dear Pope, stick to delivering sermons. Leave American governance to Trump and his team.